If they do that, they're going to be, the Cougs will be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go!
Call the five slamma jammer.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Report me acting ignorant.
Down, Dean Connors. Found some daylight. Found the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four.
Go Coogs! Let's go!
It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars.
Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. Big shout out to Steve Saxenian and to today's secondary sponsor on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, Star Pizza Houston. We're coming off the heels a very dominant performance, a much needed dominant bounce back performance by the 5th ranked Houston Cougars. They came away with the 102-62 victory over Colorado earlier on Saturday afternoon, led by Milos Uzan, who he himself had a great bounce back performance. 26 points on an efficient 9 of 13 shooting from the field, 5 of 7 on threes, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, went along with 6 assists, no turnovers in 32 minutes of action. Jojo Tugler put together a strong second half after not the best first half, dealing with foul trouble as he's had the last couple of games. Flipped the script in that second half, finished as the second leading scorer for Houston, 14 points on 4 of 8 shooting. He went 6 of 7 for the free throw line with 2 rebounds in his minutes, and Chris Gardner rounds out the top 3 in scoring for Houston with 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 3 rebounds, and a assist. He also was dealing with foul trouble in this game. Kingston Flemings, Chase McCarty, Mercy Miller were other Houston Cougars that finished in double-figure scoring. But the story of this game, we got to start with Milos Uzan because we talked about it in a previous show. He seemed like not being aggressive enough, certainly not playing to the level of play that he needed to be in order for Houston to succeed. A big reason why they weren't able to come away with victories in any of the previous 3 game losses that Houston suffered. Night and day difference earlier today against Colorado.
They played faster. They got 68 possessions up today. Last couple of games were 62 and 66. So they got more possessions up. They played faster. They did not have a lot of late shot clock possessions, not a lot of grenades where someone took a shot with 3, 2, 1 on the shot clock. 7 Cougs scored in double figures, so that's great to see. Great ball movement. Until the game was a rout late, 4 minutes or so, Coach Sampson really stuck with the 8-man rotation, like we touched on and hoped for after the Kansas game. Mercy Miller, Chase McCarty, and Khalifa Sacco. And each of them did their part and played well. So it was good to see. Good production for the Cougs. Good bounce back win. Colorado was playing better, but the defense took a step back against the Cougs, and Coach Tad Boyle gave Houston a lot of credit and gave Kingston Flemings a lot of credit. But 2 days off helped. Milos Uzan, for sure, he looked much quicker, fresher, all that.
Yeah, that was a big kind of news headline that came out of the post availability following the loss to Kansas. But head coach Kelvin Sampson revealed that Milos Uzan had been battling with different injuries towards his leg in the loss to Arizona last Saturday. There was an instance in the second half where he tweaked his leg and he screamed in pain for a second, then just tightened up the shoes tighter, kept playing in the game against the Wildcats. But that's something that I'd imagine didn't go away after a 48-hour turnaround having played Kansas. And Houston played like they had fresher legs tonight against the Buffs. So specifically when it comes to him, aggressiveness, the 26 points tied a season high for him. Had 26 points earlier in the season when they played Syracuse back in November. But that's really the Milos Uzan that Houston is going to want to see for the final 2 games of the regular season, and most definitely once they get into the postseason tournaments, both in the Big 12, but most definitely in the NCAA tournament. That's the Milos they're going to need to go and reach the goal that they've set out, which is to finish a job they couldn't last year, and that's win a national championship.
Agreed. This was tournament Milos up to the Final Four. Milos. But it was great to see Kingston Flemings get rebounds. Mercy Miller
Yeah.
got rebounds. Kingston Flemings grabbed the defensive rebound and was able to push the pace and attack the basket and sped up the Cougars' offense. It was better. It was good to see them play faster. So that's what they need going forward to finish out the regular season, these final two games, with surprise, I guess, kind of, Texas Tech winning at Iowa State in the way they did. They have a tiebreaker over Houston, I think, because of common opponents. I mean, they beat Iowa State and Arizona. So Texas Tech is second place and Houston is third. And with Iowa State losing today and probably will lose Monday at Arizona, that pretty much wraps up the Cougs being a top four team and won't play till Thursday in the Big 12 Conference Championship in March.
We would hope so. First, they play Baylor on Wednesday. That's going to be an 8 p.m. tip-off, ESPN2 senior night, and then they finish the season in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Talking about this game, big shout out to our viewers on YouTube. We had Crabtree. Way to bounce back. Love the change of offensive concepts, faster and more intentional to get the ball inside. And Mr. Big Texco, welcome in. Big thank you to everybody that's joining us. I know a little unusual start time for Let's Rage Cougs, but we had a lot of different. I mean, we're scattered throughout Saturday morning, so we had to push back today's Let's Rage Cougs. But big thank you for joining us wherever you may be on this Saturday evening. So share it, retweet, post, and comment. Be part of the show. Be part of the discussion. We're going to hear from head coach Kelvin Sampson in a bit and what he had to say after the victory for Houston. But what did you think of JoJo Tugler, but also of Khalifa Sacco, who came in again when JoJo Tugler had foul trouble and he was solid.
Again.
He gave Houston much needed production that flat out Tugler wasn't providing when he got in foul trouble, took himself out of the game, and that was key for Houston when they went on the run, their initial run, because, early portion of the game, Colorado kind of hanging around. They were actually started off the game pretty good, relatively offensively, and then Houston flipped the switch, left them in the dust, and never really looked back. And Sacco was a big anchor in the middle of everything that was kind of orchestrating Houston's run that first opened the game.
Yeah, they trailed 10-2. Colorado, this was a strange game because at one point, Colorado was shooting 51% overall and trailed by 34 points. I'm not sure.
Don't see that often.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
The team shoot 50+% but trail by 30+ points. But JoJo Tugler, 2 early fouls. Khalifa came in and did a very good job, scored. Khalifa was Coach Sampson was getting ready to put Khalifa in the game late in the first half for JoJo, and then JoJo picked up his 3rd foul on a loose ball foul on a shot that ended up bouncing off the shot clock. So JoJo's first half was just not good
Terrible.
at all. It was terrible. But he played. He scored from rolls to the hoop. He and Chris Sinak took turns really sometimes. The bigs had different looks offensively with more of the ball out high. JoJo had a few times. He was the screener as well. And on occasion, he rolled to the hoop and finished. He scored. So that was a different look. He obviously not a good low post option, but he scored differently by driving to the paint and finishing. So that was good to see. It was good to see Chris Sinak getting different. He rolled, he moved, and they got him the ball, and he hit 2 face-up jumpers. So different things we've touched on and discussed here on previous LRCs that the Cougs put in action. I'm not sure they're because of us, but it was good to see them put it in action.
Yeah, like you even mentioned earlier, just in terms of the rotation that they had for the bulk of the game was a really nice sight to see against Colorado. We're going to welcome him down in a second, but before we do, let's hear what head coach Kelvin Sampson had to say, a snippet of his post-game presser, and really speaking highly of Milos, and overall, hear the clip about Sacco too and the importance that he had for Houston in this game against Colorado.
make our team better. Biggest thing, though, was this was scoring in transition. And I know how good he is. I have zero interest in anybody else's opinion of it because it means nothing. But I've watched it. And when he's attacking to score and just playing basketball in space, I thought our kids did a good job in space today. JoJo's rolls were good. Khalifa's rolls were good because it made the corner guys have to, sometimes the rolls not necessarily for a basket. It's to make one of the corners have to come in and help, then we can play to the open corner. We did that today. So, so I thought, played hard. Come out in the second half, kind of had to get their attention a little bit, but, 25 and 20, what's our record? 24 and 5, 12 and 4 in the best league in the country. We're okay.
Laurent Perron, Coug Radio. Coach, previously you talked about how your defense wasn't leading to enough transition points. Do you think it was better today? How do you feel about the execution with the transition points today?
Scored 102 points, House. That's the big reason why. Every time Kingston got a defensive rebound, that was a big emphasis this week, is our guards getting defensive rebounds. And then pushing the pace, scoring in transition, scoring early. If you divide the shot clock in the first 10 minutes, I understand there's a lot of great offenses that come in here and we just choke them down because they can't do that. You don't change and do something. When you're playing against Houston or Kansas or Michigan or Duke, there's something that's going to look bad. Because that's why their teams are good. They're not going to let you do that. We're not going to score 102 points like we just did against Kansas. It's not going to change that. But I think we can be way more aggressive than we were. I think we can look to score earlier. But, had we played Iowa State the first week in January, had we played Kansas the first week in February, and had we played Iowa State next week, we may have lost all 3 games. But there'd have been no 3-game losing streak. 3-game losing streak is because of the schedule, and who we were playing. When Arizona came in here, they were down in the second half to us. Had we won that game, they would have been on a 3-game losing streak. The top of this league is a monster. And the fact that we're doing it with a lot of kids in their first year, I think these kids have been great. Awesome. I'm really proud of this team.
Kelvin, across the board production from the bench, but I wanted to ask specifically about Khalifa coming in after JoJo got those 2 fouls, just what he gave you in those minutes on the boards and production point-wise.
No, he's been getting more consistent. I think it was the Kansas State game here when JoJo got the early fouls. And I thought when JoJo went off the floor, JoJo's a better player than Khalifa, but we're not taking a step back with Khalifa now. He's a good player. He's a veteran. Kris is 19 years old. Kingston's 19. Those are kids. Those 2 guys are replacing 5th and 6th year guys. 3 or 4 years from now, those guys will be like the guys were last year. So you can't compare the teams. It's not fair to anybody. But Khalifa, though, is in his 5th year. He's a veteran. He doesn't have wild swings. We're kind of having to watch him a little bit right now because he's in Ramadan. So his culture is very strict, and so he can't wait to get up in the morning. He sets his clock at like 5:50. Is that what he said? 5:30. I said, "What you have?" He said, "Pasta, Domino's, macaroni and cheese, something else." And then, and now the smell of that wind, Frenchies was wafting through the air, and I looked at Khalifa and I went, "Bruh." Can't work something out for April. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying slide it. So, but no, Khalifa's been getting better, like our team. You know, every team I've ever had has ups and downs, bumps in the road. But you know, good thing about us is we don't ever overreact to any of it.
We'll take questions for Milo, please.
Milos, last week you and Emmanuel agreed that one of the top priorities is staying together at this point in the season. Today, I believe you guys had 7 players scoring double figures. So what does staying together look like for you guys, and how does it translate to your success?
I mean, I think this is a super unselfish team. 20 assists, 7 turnovers, that's really good. I think defensively, just staying together, helping each other out, not trying to be on one-on-ones, make sure it's 5-on-5 team defense. And then offensively, just continue to share the ball. I think we did a good job of that, and we worked on that this week. So I mean, we just got to keep going at it.
Once again, you heard from head coach Kelvin Sampson and guard Milos Uzan. Really, when we were talking about this game, Milos brought up the point about just how good ball movement-wise Houston had in this game, and just overall offensively, they were very efficient. They shot 60% from the field. Their three-pointers, night and day difference from what they've had in the last 3 games, but they went 10 of 17 tonight in this game. And talking about the assists, like Milos mentioned, 20 assists on 34 made baskets for Houston. Very efficient, top to bottom, especially with the 8-man core that Houston had for much of the stretch prior to the waning minutes of the second half. And that's the type of success, or that's the type of execution that's going to translate to success. Now, granted, they did it against Colorado today, but that's what you're supposed to do against the bottom teams of the league.
Dan, how are you, man?
We can't hear you. Audio settings, you're not muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
It's open on my end.
Kris, while we wait for...
I wanted to do a comment real quick. I think it was Mexico. Emmanuel today, 10 points, 2 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 5 from 3. Made all 4 of his free throws, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers in 29 minutes. So he's still in a shooting slump.
Dan, I would hop off and then try to get back on. See if that changes the settings. Mr. Big Tesco, too, about Mercy Miller. Mercy Miller, this might be the most minutes he's played all season. 23 minutes, he had 10 points, like I mentioned earlier. And Kris, like you said, 8 rebounds. Damn, you can't... That is the definition of what the Houston Cougars are looking for from their guards. He did a great job, and he's continued to make the most out of his opportunity in recent games. And hopefully now we're starting to see the dividends of, one, him staying with it, because he very easily could have, changed it, had a different mindset, had a different mentality, gotten a little sullen, and he didn't. He put his head down, continued to work, and now he's seeing that be rewarded.
And he got to the free throw line with 6 free throw attempts. So he was 2 for 5 overall from the floor, but he got to the line. Team high 8 rebounds. His defense was better as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. But it was good to see, because you touched on it, Mercy got 23 minutes. So did Chase McCarty, got 23 minutes. So it was good to see. That's the core 8. I think that is the core 8 going forward. Khalifa played 15 minutes. Ramadan, Rocket fans remember Keem Olajuwon during Ramadan and what he had to do to go through it. That's no water, from sunrise to sunset. No water, nothing. So that is something Khalifa will be experiencing for the next few weeks. And every minute he was on the floor today, he balled out. He played himself to exhaustion. He left nothing for doubt. So he asked to be subbed out because he was exhausted from his great effort that he put on the floor. And the bench points for the Cougs today was a 29-8 favor of Houston with bench points. So that's a plus going forward as well. A lot of positives. You know, the opponent had something to do with that too, but hey, it's good for confidence as well going forward.
They won the rebound battle 34-22. Like you said, they only turned the ball over 7 times. They forced Colorado into 15 turnovers. Like Sampson mentioned in the clip right there, that turned into 21 points off the turnovers for Houston. And talking about paint points, they outscored Colorado in the paint 38-36, which most definitely hasn't been the case in recent games. And again, that's the positive, just to really the versatility. I mean, ultimately, it comes out to execution. They just did a much better job of executing today than they had in the previous 3 games.
Agreed. And it's the paint points came differently. It wasn't from low post scoring. It was guys attacking the paint and finishing. Whether it was Milos, whether it was JoJo on the rolls, it was some great passes. I mean, there was a time when JoJo made a great catch on a pass from Emmanuel Sharp once he was running to the basket, rolling to the hoop. Great catch. The bigs moved. They didn't stand still. Rocket fans who know me on the show I used to do regularly, they know. I always said this as an old head. The easiest, as a coach, you know this. The easiest person to defend is someone who stands still.
Yeah.
But if you move with a purpose, you are harder to guard because people always have to take account for you. Where are you? Is he cutting back door? Is he moving this way? Where is he? So that moving with a purpose was good to see from Houston's offense today as well.
Absolutely, and that not just for the bigs, but that's something in previous games, specifically in the loss to Kansas, that we just criticized because it seemed like you mentioned the term, the grenades. They had a lot of grenade shots, especially against Kansas, where they let the shot clock dwindle down to 3-2, even sometimes right to 1 second, and a lot of it was a lot of dribbling, no penetration inside the 3-point line, and they just had to resort to last second shots. Today, Kelvin Sampson mentioned it in his press conference, right? But they were really much more aggressive, doing a great job attacking with a purpose to go along with you, Kris, and just forcing the defense to have to react and exploiting Colorado.
And I see Anthony's question. Dizzy Busy and Mr. Big Texco, they know the answer to this because I'm happy to say and glad to say it. They're members of the Houston Round Bar Review YouTube member section. They knew this a while ago regarding Mercy Miller and Isaiah Harwell. But I digress. But yes, it was great to see dribbling to nowhere is nothing. You just dribbling the air out of the ball and standing around behind the 3-point line and waiting for the shot clock to wind down to take a bad shot, a forced shot. That's what the defense wants. Houston, they were aggressive. Houston attacked Colorado's defense. Coach Sampson also said he talked to Kingston Flemings in addition to talking to Milos Uzan. He said he talked to Kingston about some of the things that he did not like Kingston was doing lately. So Kingston took those words to heart. So it's good. The days off was needed for the team, not just guys who are banged up like Milos and Emmanuel, but overall to help these guys recharge their batteries for the final stretch of the regular season, getting ready for postseason play. I think you combine what Kingston had 6 rebounds, Mercy had 8. That's almost, not quite, but almost half the team's rebounds.
Yep.
They had 14 of the team's 34 boards.
Yep. Kris, are you of the mindset not to, how do I phrase it? Are you of the mindset that the 3 losses that they had is arguably, hindsight 2020, maybe it's the best thing that could have happened to Houston right as we're on the final day of February, the calendar is about to turn to March, and those 3 games really forced Houston to get exposed. And now they had today against Colorado, they have Baylor on Wednesday, they have Oklahoma State next Saturday to tweak things, refine things. Obviously, they'll have the Big 12 tournament, and then it's the final push. And what matters is those 6 games, games in March. as we welcome in Fluff in a second.
Yeah. And Fluff as a coach and your coach now as well, I'm sure, and I think the Coug fans agree as well, rather not lose to have to learn a lesson. You'd rather learn during wins, but if there were some bad habits creeping in, plus guys getting comfortable and setting their ways, and then dealing with three tough ass opponents and injuries and all those things led to the three losses. And if that helps them the rest of the season play up to their standard, I think we'll take that.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, definitely, because I mean, like we talked about in the beginning of the season, somebody might say, "Oh, you guys are saying that now because we've had some struggles," and it's not true because we've talked on the air and off about taking our lumps during the season to be battle tested and know how it feels to not, live up to expectation before the run starts. So that's the biggest thing is that, with the great coaching staff that we have and, the best trainer in the business, John Houston, we are going to be prepared to make that run and to have these bumps and bruises uh, during the season is better than having them in the second season.
And now Dayon's joining us, and so let's get, because you and Dayon and Fluff really wanted a point of the last show for the team to shrink the rotation, and until the game really got out of hand late, it was 8 guys playing today.
Yeah.
Mercy, Chase, and Khalifa. Y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of things come first on the Let's Rage Coogs podcast. A lot of things I seen them talking today about that. Uh, uh, Whoever was doing, the before the game thing about, just us playing a couple more guys, just certain little things. So it's just like Mercy is going to be the key. Mercy is our Malik. I think Mercy is our Malik. He's that guy off the bench that can give us a spark. He's he's figured out that it's not just scoring, it's also getting the 50-50 balls. You know what I mean? Playing hard, playing defense, knowing where to be, making second efforts on defense. As much as he's scoring, a little bit more, I'm seeing that effort, and that's gonna be the key too.
D?
I think Fluff hit the nail on the head. I remember back to Mercy's freshman season, Coach Samp said that his offense is going to get him on the floor, but his defense and energy and just making those quote unquote cultural plays is going to keep him on the floor. And like Fluff just said, I think he's realized the importance of that. He's grabbing rebounds and he's going to get the shot opportunity. And with his offensive ability, he had 10 tonight, but as the tougher games come on, when he has the open look, his offense is going to be there. And I think the threat of him as he gets more in the rhythm, continue doing those little things, he's going to continue to find his rhythm. But Sacco, he just picked up right where he left off. I think that back injury is clearly behind him. He looks a lot more healthy, and I'm looking forward to him continue to have an impact on the game. But Mercy, he's earned it. I think with the way he had to battle and fight all year just to get on the floor and now being able to play through mistakes, I think that's really prepared him for for getting his playing time and going down the season. I mean, going down through the rest of the stretch of the season.
And Chase McCarty as well. Chase took advantage of his minutes, extended minutes. He made 2 threes, and he rebounded. Chase, and boy, this sounds bad way I'm going to say this. So y'all help me out after I say it. Chase, to me, could be a more athletic, how about this, Ramon Walker 2.0 version.
I was thinking about them two together when I was analyzing, some things about the game. I thought about that. That's a great point. I agree with you.
The last 2 games, he's played like Ramon in terms of just the energy and effort.
I see exactly what you mean. Exactly what you mean too, Chris. And I think
Like a bigger
his
version of that.
Hmm?
Better
with a
shooter.
more better
Better.
shooter. Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly where I was going to go to with a shooter. And I think his ability to play stretch forward, but just that energy. I mean, he's like Ramon. He's going to be in there to be able to take the charges. Not really any people on the guards. I think Emmanuel will get in there too and take some charges. But though, I think you hit that. You're very accurate with that, Chris.
And he's still wearing the thumb wrap, but I think he's getting healthier and healthier. But he just keeps possessions alive. He's tossing his body around. He's getting better defensively. You're seeing Mercy and Chase getting better defensively, 1-on-1. So positive today, and it's good to win by 40.
Confidence builder for the today,
Yes,
for sure.
definitely. That's what I was going to say, for
Yep.
sure.
And Ramon got that 3 on. Shouts to Ramon. Shouts to Ramon.
Look,
Who is
off topic, real quick. And go ahead, Andy. You got.
well, on the topic
That's
of
it.
Ramon, that he didn't dress out today. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, due to an injury.
I'm
Is
waiting
that
for
what Kelvin said?
clarification. I'm waiting for confirmation before I say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he did not dress out today.
Correct.
That's
Fluff.
the fact.
How old is John Houston?
How old is John Houston? Yo, and we gotta promote this one. This is gonna be big, Andy. We gotta promote this one. Cause I might be wrong, I might be right. John Houston is 57 years old. What do you
Yeah, I'm
think,
because
Chris?
I don't know. I'm curious because he's been around. I mean, I've been around the program long as he has, man. And he looks the same.
John Houston might be 60.
Yeah,
He might be
might be.
60.
Yeah.
We'll take a poll, whatever. Houston alumni, long alumni. How old is John Houston? My first guess is John Houston is 58 years old. I feel like I'm in the Coming to America
Yeah, you changed it now. You
movie.
going 57, 60, 58.
Remember on Coming to America, he said Rocky Marciano was 175 years old. But no, John Houston, I'm going with John Houston is 58 years old.
All right, I'm gonna go with 60, and
Going with
let's see if I get
60?
an answer before
I'll
we
say
go into the show.
63. He's been around.
63? You might
Uh,
not be wrong, Andy. Because I swear when I was there going to school, he was in it. He wasn't in it. He might be 64 because when I was in school, I could have sworn he's about 41. I don't know. This is good. I don't know.
But
He's
he's the
the
best
best
one
in
we
the
definitely.
business,
Yes,
though.
he is. No question. He is a shaman. No question
Let
about
me tell you something about John Houston. One thing about John Houston, see, sometimes, and they can take this, they're not even gonna pay me for this advice, but some trainers are not good, not because some trainers at the Division One level are not good, not because of what their talent is or what their credentials are. It's their personality. Meaning this, you can become a great trainer and you can become a bad trainer by being bullied by the player. What I mean by that is like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Oh, you're not doing that? Okay. Let me go tell the coaches that you're not doing that. You know what I
it.
mean? Where,
Right.
some trainers are like, John is more like, you're gonna do that. Because my job is to make sure that you get back on the court and I care about you
Mhm.
too. That's the other part that he has. I care about you too, but you're definitely not going to tell me how you're going to run amok in my training room.
Right.
It's not happening.
Right.
So some trainers are not good, and I've had experience with plenty. They let the player be like, I'm not doing that today. Oh, I'm not going to ice today. Oh, I'm not going to cold tub today. Oh, I'm not going to do cold tub and heat. You know what I mean? Like, so John is the best because he makes you go through every single step to get back. And
Excellent point.
he puts that pressure on you. Because when you think about it, be like, you think to yourself as a player, go, did he give me everything I needed to get back on the floor today? You tell yourself, yeah. And
Yeah.
it makes you, now y'all a team. So, I've had my experiences with him at the University of Houston and also with a knee surgery after the University of Houston, as a player. He's the best in the business.
58 is the answer.
Dang.
58 is the
Fluff
answer.
got it.
Make a reel out of that, Andy.
Hey, right
Andy,
on the
make a
money.
reel out of that. How I came and I told you the number, and then they come back with the number I said. If you can find a way to put that together like that, that's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Props to you
Y'all
again,
appreciate it. I
brother.
need it. Thank you. I gave you Kingston. I'm telling you about time. Come on.
But yeah, overall, because I know Dayon had a baseball game to call. Just your
That
thoughts
messed
on
me up when he said that.
brother's versatile, man.
Hey, I'm versatile, man. Ain't nothing I
No, no,
can't
no.
do.
I love it. I love it, Brody. I'm just saying. I said I had to look again. Because I fishing when we got our little mess. I'll be fishing. I'm like, I had to look again. I said, oh, he forgot a K in there. Then I and then I went and looked again. I said, no, he dead serious because Chris was probably like, okay, brother, he must know this dude calls baseball games. That's big time, man.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. But
9
overall,
innings?
9 innings, Division III, college.
You the GOAT. You the GOAT. You talking about GOAT Samson, GOAT Dayon. What do you mean?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I couldn't do it. Not
That's
this.
patience.
That's what I'm saying.
Man,
I
man.
yeah. But y'all thoughts on JoJo today?
I don't have
First
any.
half, first half.
He was horrible. Yeah, that look is it. That's it. Yeah.
But he
Second
took him
half,
Javier's minutes last year.
bro. I was thinking that, bro. I was
Like
sitting
when
there
you know
thinking,
what
like,
we
bro,
do wrong
if
because
we
me, Chris,
have
and Dayon,
Javier and J1 on the front
we
line,
get a little tense when we're talking about it with each other as brothers. But
man, bro.
Chris, we've been having me and Dayon are arguing with you about the wrong guy. We're actually supposed to be arguing with you saying, you know what? Why didn't Roberts and Francis play together and Tugler come off the bench? When I keep
Man,
watching it now, that's
yep.
what it was
Bro,
supposed to
I was
be.
thinking that, bro. I was
So,
thinking that
Chris,
all
I
day.
apologize for even arguing with you about the wrong guy.
Man, yeah, me too,
I
Chris.
argued with you
Me
about the
too,
wrong
Chris. For
guy.
real. I
The
swear I've
more
been
I
thinking
watched
that
this
all
year,
day.
I was arguing with you about the
The
wrong
wrong guy.
guy.
I swear,
I
bro.
apologize, brother. That's
Me
part
too,
of
Chris.
manhood, man. Being
No,
able to, you know
yeah.
what?
No
Just
worries.
apologize when you're
Appreciate
wrong.
it. But truly, when JoJo picked up the 2 fouls, I was like, that's JoJo being JoJo. But then to see Coach Sampson call Khalifa to check in before the half ends, so JoJo would not get his third foul, and then JoJo got his third foul. I was like, come on, young fella, come on. The man is right there waiting to check in for you. All you got to do is just stay out of the way, really. Oh. But he played better in the second half. I'll give him credit for that. But man, that first half, oh, I wonder what was said to him at halftime.
Oh, you already know.
Whatever it
A
was,
lot of
it
M's and
worked.
a lot of F's.
Come on. But Fluff,
Yes,
Milo's
sir.
played better. He was aggressive today. He attacked.
Yo, they switched roles today. Kingston and him and Kingston switched roles today. Meaning that, Kingston had what, 11 and 8? 11 and 8. What was he? 3 for 8 from the field. Uh Ooze was 7 for whatever he was for
9 for 13.
25.
9 for 13.
9 for
From the field.
13 for 25. I know y'all tripping on how I have nothing in my hands. It's here. You know what I mean? Andy, I see you looking like, where's his paper at? Hey, bro, you can't do that. you can't do that. You got.
That's a future Cougar, though, man. Yeah, you can.
All right, say what's up, man.
Go Cougs. There you go.
Hey,
I got
heard
the
him
sign
early.
right.
That's it.
Is they switched roles with Kingston being more of the facilitator
Mm-hmm.
and Oo's getting off. That makes us so much more dangerous if we could do it like that. And we
Me
like,
even
just however the game is going, whoever's rolling, but each one of the three, can facilitate as well as put that basketball in the hole. If we could just have more like a Villanova feel, like
hmm
Mm-hmm.
whoever rolling
Yep.
is rolling. And now the coaching staff, our pen game is going on who's rolling, not who role is this or that. Just we playing.
Mm-hmm.
We playing, and whoever hot, that's who we giving it to most times.
Dayon, did you
yeah.
like Fluff? I mean, Milo's finishing at the rim today, too?
I like that. That's why what we saying, the bumps and bruises we might be getting ready to take our stride,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be
And Fluff
hard to beat. I don't care who you are. It's gonna be hard to beat us when it's win or go home. I don't give a damn who you are.
And Fluff called it. Fluff said after the game, Coach Sam got to have a sit down with the
Yep.
upperclassmen. Well,
Yeah.
he do had that one on one with Milos, and it seemed like he breathed confidence into Milos, is the way he put it, and wanted Milos to be aggressive to score.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the way he turned it last year because he was tentative and being aggressive to defer last year. And when he started being aggressive to get downhill to score, start opening up the offense not only for himself but for others. I think with Kingston being as prolific and he can, Kingston gonna beat Kingston. He can beat you just controlling the pace of the game, getting the open floor, making plays, and get down here pretty much at will. And so with Milos adding that extra element of scoring consistently, whether it's knocking down shots, playmaking, or getting downhill to score, that just opens the floor not only for himself but for Kingston and Emmanuel and the rest of the team.
But y'all know how we do it here on Let's Rage Cougs. Milos, do this again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all about consistency for
Yeah.
him.
Today was
Consistency.
great. Let's
Yep.
do it again. And
Yep.
then next
And
Saturday.
again,
And again.
and again,
Yes.
From
and
now until
again.
that first Monday in April.
I'm thinking and again and again and again, and we got it.
Until the team is done playing basketball. Yep. Keep doing it.
Till teams are done playing basketball
Yep. Last Monday in April.
with an S.
Yep. And you got to thank our supporters, man.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of comments to go along. I'm gonna put one up because this is a very interesting comment. But like you mentioned, Chris, big thank you to today's sponsors on this edition of Let's Rage Cougs, beginning with Steve Saxenian, who's the primary sponsor not only of this edition of Let's Rage Cougs, but has been all season long. And a big shout out to today's secondary sponsor in Star Pizza Houston. Big thank you to Mike and Jennifer Pittman with Star Pizza, with multiple locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game. Be sure you check them out online at starpizza.net. Check them out on their social media platform, Star Pizza HOU on X, Star Pizza Houston, Texas on Instagram. And next time you visit them at any one of their locations, be sure you tell them that you heard about them on Let's Rage Coogs, the original Houston postgame show going back to 2022. The comment I want to put up for y'all, see, Anthony, if Mercy is the guy now this late, is it lost time with all the game experience he could have had?
Wow.
Mm.
If Mercy, hold on. Saying he done threw me to the wall.
With all the game experience he could have had.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
mean, I
it
understand the
lost time
question,
with
but
all the game experience?
it's water under the bridge now. Let's
Man, he
go
got to be
forward.
ready.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
question, but
Yeah.
he got to be ready for
Doesn't
What's done is
matter.
smoke.
done. We can't undo it,
But I get where I
Yeah.
get. What's the guy's name?
See, Anthony,
See,
yeah. I get
Anthony.
where he's coming from. Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, but right now we can't even let him see that comment. We gotta move forward, and he gotta be a big dog right
And
now.
Mercy as well. Let's see, do this again and again and again. Crash the boards and get to the line and be a threat, a consistent 3-point threat.
And
Because
potentially, oh my bad, Chris, go
no,
ahead.
I'm going to say because it probably got to a point for the opponents on a scouting report, if Harwell's open, leave him open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
They wanted
Mercy,
him to take the shot.
yeah. But that Miller kid, I got to guard him. I got to run him off the line. That threat Houston needs.
I was just going to
Because one
add.
thing Mercy does good too is he attacks the gaps on the swing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of players, if they don't have the open shot, they can't attack it on the swing. I swing it. I'm still trying to get in the gap. I make another kick or make another play. He's good doing that on as the ball is rotated.
Now, I was just going to add to that question. Like Fluff said, I mean, it's water under the bridge, but maybe that experience last season not playing, I'm sure he had a convo with Malik, I would assume, or maybe if not, he at least seen it and seen how Malik kind of went through the same thing. And then Malik got those minutes, was able to step up. I'm sure he's looking in the mirror like, okay, it's my time. I'm ready. I'm ready to showcase. And so, just as a competitor, as someone who put in that work, I think it's just driving him to prove why he should have been getting those minutes.
And never let it go. This is my spot. This is my time. These are my minutes, and y'all aren't getting them back.
That's right. And it puts pressure on the three guys. Like one of y'all can sit down for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not rolling. Okay. Let's get a break. Maybe a little longer than it usually is. Maybe you sit 2 minutes, maybe sit 4 minutes this time. If you think about it, if they all played 33 minutes, sharp, 30, let's say 30, let's say even 34 minutes. Sharp, Ooze, Kingston, they all played 34 minutes. 6, 12, 18. That's 18 minutes available.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's 18 minutes available. If they want to go 4 guards and see that could be another 6 minutes. That's 24, 25 minutes. The minutes are there for them to find from him, for him. You know what I mean? It's just about, coming to grips with maybe he doesn't get in and he doesn't get in and he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I like Mercy getting between 18 and 24 minutes a game. Chase as well.
yeah.
I mean,
Because if our bigs are not giving us anything down low, I mean,
They're going to need the guards to initiate the offense by attacking, like you mentioned, Fluff. Of Mercy, one of the things he does is just being aggressive. And if he's not going to get to the basket by himself, he's going to create a shot for someone else, or he's going to force the defense to react, have to collapse.
if you watch
And
it
that's what
every time he
Houston
catches
needs.
it, Andy.
He's aggressive. He's looking to score. But because of that, he's going to create opportunities for his teammates. Then, like we mentioned, the past 3 games during their losing streak, they were just way too passive. And because of really the lack of any type of inside presence down low, they don't have a person they can just throw it to and they can, back an opponent down. They need guards to be able to initiate the offense and attack and get into the paint.
That's right.
so I'm going to flip it around like this too. Coach Sampson, let's see this core 8 again, and again for the rest of the season.
Yes.
I know he's the head coach and he's in charge of everything, but I believe in the potential of this core 8 group right here.
Real quickly, I want to see the scoreboard around the Big 12. TCU and Kansas State currently in a close game, 54-51. Arizona won in lopsided fashion over Kansas. They got their payback, 84-61 over the Jayhawks. Like you mentioned, Chris, earlier, Texas Tech, a little bit of a shocker, beating Iowa. Not a little bit, a big shocker. That game was at the Hilton Coliseum, and they came away with the 82-73 victory over Iowa State. West Virginia beat BYU at home earlier today. Cincinnati beat Oklahoma State in a lopsided game, 91-68. And towards the bottom of the Big 12, Arizona State beat Utah. Interesting. Like you mentioned, Chris, now both Kansas and Iowa State are 11-5 when it comes to Big 12 conference play. So Houston currently sits at third in the Big 12 conference. They control their own destiny for a double bye in the Big 12 tournament, which would mean they wouldn't have to play until Thursday. Correct? They wouldn't have to play till Thursday. So if they beat Baylor, they beat Oklahoma State, they will be no worse than third in the Big 12 tournament. So that's good news for Houston. That's one less day, one less game that they have to play if they are able to take care of business.
Agree, and they should, especially if they play like they did today. But Iowa State will be at Arizona on Monday. So we think Arizona will win that game. That'll be the Cyclones' 6th loss. Houston wins Wednesday. Iowa State cannot tie them because the Cougs, worst they could do have 5 losses.
Yeah, Houston would be if Houston wins, they'd be 13-4. If they lost Saturday, and they'd be 13-5, and Iowa State would already have the 6th loss.
Right.
Hey guys, am I frozen?
No, you're good, man.
I'm just frozen on my end.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Only person that I can see talking is Andy.
Wow, that's okay. Well, that's
odd, but you
we're rolling.
Yeah,
video's working fine on our end.
Video and audio working good. So yep. So did you hear what we said about Iowa State, Fluff?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Coogs, things go as expected. Should wrap up, but top 4 seed Wednesday, right, Andy? Iowa State lose Monday, Cougs win Wednesday. Yeah.
Correct.
So that means Coug alum supporters with money and means and time can start making their plans for Kansas City if they want to go to a Big 12 tournament on Wednesday.
So what are we, a 3 seed?
Right now,
in the Big 12 tournament, or
Big 12.
Yeah, right now they're third.
Yeah.
Due to the tiebreaker with Tech. Tech owns the tiebreaker.
But yeah, Tech winning the day at Hilton Coliseum. That kind of surprised me.
Tech has some of the most impressive wins in the conference.
They do. Yeah. At Arizona, at Iowa State.
They beat
over
Duke.
Houston,
I hate to change the subject, but this kid, Phylon from Alabama, is a bad man.
Yes.
What do you guys think about him?
Agree. We agree.
He is tenacious.
What's the score of that game right now?
67-61. They just got into the under the final media timeout, TV timeout of the second half. 67-61, Tennessee leads.
It would not hurt the Cougs if Tennessee won that game, though.
I see where you're going.
UConn held off Seton Hall today. That was a big. They almost suffered upset.
Did y'all see the last few seconds of that game?
No, I did not. It's crazy.
I had it on my laptop while I was watching. I was at Fertitta, and the Cougs are blowing out Colorado. UConn up 3. Only had probably like 4 fouls, so they had fouls to give. Final seconds. They already gave 1 foul, so they had like 1 or 2 more to go. Seton Hall's guard, I don't know his name. Like I said, I was watching with no sound. So he got the inbound ball. UConn was going to foul. Everybody expected them to foul because they were up 3. Then I wanted to give a 3-point attempt, all those things. Contact was made. 2 hands on the Seton Hall guard. He tossed up a shot. Air ball. Because he thought the ref was going to call a foul. Ref didn't call anything. He was just out of bounds, UConn. And he looked around like, what? No foul? No foul? Ref said, that shook his head. Huskies ball, man. Home cooking, Fluff.
Home cooking, you know that.
Home cooking.
You know that.
There's a pretty big game in the Big East too. Villanova and St. John's. They're going to play at 7 p.m.
You got to say that every time, Andy. 8 p.m. your time, 7 p.m.
7
your
p.m. Central
our
Time.
time,
7 p.m. Central.
Central time. It's so
But it
crazy.
does look like it's fun.
I can't even. I forget how many years I lived there, and I was an hour behind. Of everyone up here.
Yeah, Crabtree. I'm not sure of the tiebreaker with Tech, but I'm going on common opponents rather than overall record. So if it is overall record, then Houston is in second place. But either way, they're 2-3.
No, they showed the standings.
So
Texas Tech is second.
yeah, that's what I'm. But I'm going also thinking it's common opponents, and we know Tech beat Iowa State. Houston didn't.
Yeah,
Tech beat Arizona. Houston didn't. So
yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
that
going on.
simple.
Yeah.
How did Tech beat Arizona? I really break it down. That's tough. That's
At
tough.
Arizona.
I know.
Yeah. JT Toppin had a monster game, and that game, but they won today without Toppin. The guards and Donovan Atwell, he is a heck of a 3-point shooter, man. He is. He's money. He's like Fluff.
Money.
He's just money 3-point shooter. So Fluff, can we share with the audience your plans for Wednesday?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. What is it?
You tell them what we know.
Well, listen, I will see you guys Wednesday. I will see you guys Wednesday at the Fertitta. What time we play?
8:00 Central.
8 p.m.
8 o'clock.
Central.
8 o'clock Central Time. 9 o'clock Connecticut time. And it'll be great to see the guys, maybe get to talk to them about what senior night is about. And just be good to come home. Hopefully I see some old faces and a new place.
And I hope they record you crying
Oh,
when
when
you
I get oh man,
when you
listen.
see it.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time, that, just getting it, and it's redundant, but it's necessary because it's a big part of my life, even now today, of what I'm preaching about as far as on a daily basis in my gym. But they gave me a second chance, I got a second chance at the University of Houston. But what I did with the second chance, that wasn't, not saying I didn't think I was capable of doing it, but it kind of like, it exploded into something that I'm just really learning to appreciate now in my life. So, that's just, it's just a special place to me. So to see that on the wall in the flesh is going to be very, very monumental to my soul and my family. And I don't know how, I'm not even really prepared. I've seen it. People send me pictures. I posted it, but to see it in person and see the people that's around it, that's the biggest thing. To see the people that's around it is is big time, and for them to still be thinking of me in that light is big time too.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, brother.
You too, man. You too, man. You know, give me some Frenchies. I gotta give me some Frenchies. I gotta give me. I used to over there on Griggs Road. I used to get brisket on the side of the road like
Yep.
every other day.
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying? You gotta be a real Houstonian to know about that, Chris.
Yep.
Get brisket on the side of the road. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna see if my guy's still over there. But that's home, man. That's home, man.
Well, let's wrap it up, Andy, because that's a great way to end it right there.
That's a great way to end it. I was trying to find
Definitely.
the tiebreaker rules for The Big 12 tournament. You know what? It's interesting. The Big 12 conference has Houston as second on their website, and so does ESPN. So maybe they are second in the conference.
But I mean, it's good to a point. But two
I
or
mean,
three gonna
but
play each
it
other.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they're gonna play
Yeah,
each other anyway.
regardless.
Yeah,
And what the most important thing is that they'd get that extra. They'd get the double bye,
right.
which is
That's
what
most key.
matters for Houston,
Right.
right? They're not trying to play an extra game when they don't have to, and they control their destiny. They don't have to do it if they win Wednesday against Baylor, which they'll be heavy favorites to do so. Like we mentioned, that game will be the final home game of the regular season for Houston. It'll be senior night at the Fertitta Center against Baylor, 8 p.m. tip-off. That game will be on ESPN2 if you can't make it out to the Fertitta Center on Wednesday night. And then they end the regular season a week from today, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. against Oklahoma State. And then that's it for the regular season, and they go into the Big 12 tournament. Big thank you to today's sponsors, Steve Saxenian, the primary sponsor. Big thank you to Star Pizza, the secondary sponsor on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. LRC, the original Houston postgame show, going back to the 2022 American Athletic Conference tournament. Speaking of conference tournament, so we're nearing the 4-year anniversary of Let's Rage Coogs here in a couple weeks. Today, the last day of February, so on Wednesday, it'll be officially March, best time of the year for college basketball. For really just the best time of the year. It's also our birthday month for Kris and I in March. So big things coming up in March. And stay tuned here on Pod Slamma Jamma as we cover Houston, not only the final 2 regular season games, but throughout their postseason tournament runs, both in the Big 12 and NCAA tournaments. If you are interested in being a sponsor for the March Madness runs, both postseason tournaments, Big 12 tournament, or the NCAA tournament, be sure to reach out on the email that you see on the screen, letsragecoogs@gmail.com. Like Kris mentioned, all 4 of us are credentialed to go to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. Kris and I are lucked to be there starting Wednesday. So however long Houston
Don't count me out of that one either.
goes
Don't count me out of that.
in Kansas City, we will be there and we will be providing behind the scenes coverage. So if you want to be a part of our coverage, reach out. Let's reach Coogs@gmail.com. People love behind the scenes footage, and that's what we're trying to provide y'all. And for those of you that can't make the trip out to Kansas City, provide an extra really just layer of coverage when it comes to your University of Houston Cougars men's basketball team. Last thing for me, once again, the final score. The 5th-ranked Houston Cougars come away with the 102-62 victory over Colorado. A great bounce-back performance by the Cougars following their 3-game skid. Milos Uzan led the way in scoring 26 points, 6 assists for the senior. Kris Gardner was third in scoring, 12 points, 3 rebounds. Jojo Tugler was second in scoring, 14 points in this game. Kingston Fleming had 11, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. Emmanuel Sharp had 10 points and 3 assists with 2 rebounds. Khalifa Sacco had 9 points. Trace McCarty had 10 points. Mercy Miller had 10 points and 8 rebounds. And that's going to do it for me on my end. I'll toss it over to you, Kris. Where can people find you? Any final thoughts for what's coming and maybe in this game against Colorado?
Good bounce back win by the Cougs today over Colorado. 7 Cougs scored in double figures. I always enjoy talking hoops with my brothers here, Dayon, Fluff, and Andy, and of course the Let's Rage Cougs family. Join us again on Wednesday, senior night. When Andy, you going to be there in person? It's a late start.
Yeah,
You going to make it?
I'll make sure. I'll make it a point of emphasis to be there. But I mean, I got to. If Fluff is gonna be there, I
Yeah,
got
so
to.
it could be.
Come on, man.
I'll make
D,
it
I
a
know it's
point
going
of
to be tough for you
emphasis
to drive
be there.
down, during the week, but it'd be great if you could make it, brother. But 3 of us will be at Fertitta Center, so that'll be a unique thing right there. So
That'll be very nice. That's gonna be very nice.
but appreciate
Very nice.
everybody for your time and comments and understanding because of what Dayon had to do calling the baseball game, and Andy was working basketball game. Fluff was probably coaching game.
Yes.
Little old me was just waiting for them to join. So I was watching Big 12 hoops too. So
I watched the game and then, I had to coach a game right quick. You know what I mean?
So yeah, no worries at all, brother. It's
Yeah,
all love here. But thank
definitely.
you. And again, To those who have not yet become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section, do so because you do find out things before anybody else does. Because I know people too. I've known Fluff a long, long time. Okay, but thank you. Join us on Wednesday. Subscribe to Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, Paul Slammer Jam on YouTube, and yes, get ready for March and our coverage. Let's Rage Coogs coverage of the Big 12 tournament. We're going to do it unlike anybody else. And y'all know it. I'm proud to say it. Since 1994, the Houston Round Ball Review. Local name, global perspective.
Hey, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone, that support the Cougars, win, lose, or draw. Very excited about coming home, seeing my people, seeing my old teammates. I will have my crew with me. Hopefully, I have some of your favorite Cougs with me when I come to the Fertitta. And I just want to say thank you for always. I've been I feel the love from the fans. Since I played, since after I played, and like so much more now from getting on here with my brothers. So I want to say thank you guys for the opportunity of reconnecting with the University of Houston in a different way, besides being a player and showing in my mind and what I know about the game. And I just want everyone to be patient with our Cougars, before it get real, and we have no patience because it's one game or you're out of here. So hoping that this conference tournament could really gear us up and get ready to make this run to cut the nets down. And as always, it's Big Elm City and it's Go Cougs for life.
Man, shout out to the game. You guys holding it down. Shout out to Coach Sampson and staff making some adjustments and getting the team right to get back on the winning track. I'm looking forward to this down stretch. Let's take care of this next one at home. Next one is at home, right? Yeah,
Wednesday,
take
Baylor.
care of this. Yeah, Baker take care of this next one at home. Emmanuel's last game, Marlo's last game in the Fertitta. Sure, they want to go out with a bang, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. These last two games are going to be big for just kind of roles down the stretch being defined. Milo's continue to kind of find his confidence, be consistent like we talked about. And I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to make a trip down too to see my boy Fluff. And as always, win, lose, or draw, baby. Go Coogs.